What do you do when you find yourself in the old city of Jerusalem and suddenly discover you're alone and hopelessly lost? Stay tuned. Welcome to Day 9 of the Dear Mom Epic Adventure. Landing in Israel 3 days ago, we worked our way up the coast to Haifa, where we boarded the Norwegian Epic cruise ship for the rest of our 2022 European adventure. On its first day, the Epic backtracked a bit, stopping in Ashdod, the port for Jerusalem. Ellen and I had booked a ship excursion to Old Jerusalem, but she injured her foot during the boarding process yesterday and was unable to accompany me. I have a few pictures of the bus ride, but found the countryside to be more hilly and forested than we expected. Our first stop was a viewpoint overlooking the city. The most striking landmarks are the Dome of the Rock in the lower left and the Western Wall just below it. From there, we journeyed to Mount Zion on the northern side of the city, where a synagogue is built above David's tomb, and a church was built on the site of the Last Supper. The synagogue was closed today. While the Last Supper site is set aside as a historic landmark, there's nothing in the room that would recall the scene. It's mostly bare, save this decorative tree sculpture and a cat who observed the crowd aloofly. After an excellent buffet lunch, we proceeded to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, built over the presumed sites of Jesus' death and burial. You can wait in a long line to enter the empty tomb, and you can touch the stone where he was allegedly laid to be oiled for burial. Various Orthodox branches have separate sections of the edifice. I was impressed with the architecture and the intent, but was put off by the layers of religiosity overlaying the place. Like most Protestants, I believe Jesus was buried in a different location, but wanted to experience this place. From there, we worked our way along the Via Dolorosa, or the Way of the Cross. Each of the stops is labeled, like this one, with signage that depicts what allegedly happened at this point. Here's a collage of some of the sights of the day. At this point, we were released for about 45 minutes of exploring the Old Town, which is where I got lost. With only about 10 minutes to make it back to the meeting point, I didn't know what to do. I didn't recall the name of the location. I had a hard time describing it. A helpful shopkeeper, seeing my camera, said, "Show me a picture close to where you want to go." Seeing the picture, he said, "Go right, then left, then go straight." He was right. Next time I'll take a picture of the exact location for just this purpose. We ended our day with a trip to the Western Wall, the most sacred current site to devout Jews. You're allowed to go to the wall and pray if you wish, and it was the most moving part of the day for me. One of the sites that I couldn't photograph well, because you're not allowed to take photographs right next to the wall, is the many prayers that are folded in pieces of paper and stuck in all of the cracks of the Wailing Wall. It was really moving to see these up close. As we left, this group of Israeli school children were standing in a circle singing the national anthem. It was a fitting send-off to a memory-filled day. Tomorrow, we go to Cyprus, and I'll tell you the myth that made this rock famous, and we'll see the most magnificent Roman mosaics in the Mediterranean. Until then, safe travels.